Hey everybody. This is gonna be an Echo Trade update, a little different on video here. Um, I want to talk about some stuff. First off, we have the S&P 500. And really, we kind of made this high back here around April 19th, and then we've gone sideways in this channel right here. We kind of tested the top of it this week, but then we immediately pulled back in. We tried to break out again yesterday, immediately pulled back in. So right now we've got a strong resistance up here at the top, and then we haven't really tested support. It's still drifting higher slightly, but it's been sideways. What's the bane of a trend trader? I mean, what we're trying to do in echo trades is trend pullback continuation. When we're in a sideways like this right here, for 2 weeks almost since mid April, it becomes hard to get the trend trades, and I think a lot of the trades have reflected that. So we're going to go through a few of them. Let's see. Next is just cover Apple. So Apple right here, it hit the target. I put out an alert that maybe you should look to close. I was not fast enough on that next morning. I guess it was yesterday morning yesterday morning to get that alert out to actually perform the trade. I didn't close anything myself. I'm sitting in it right down here. Looking forward to go higher, but we did hit the target, so I'm not sure if we're going to get the target or not, or if we should run another fib from here to here and see what the next higher target is. Right now, it is it doesn't look good. I mean, that's the long and the short of it, but it did hit the target. I was not able to get out. Hopefully, I know a few people did get out. I, I don't know what to say. It hit the target, and we should have closed it. I probably should have put out an alert when I did. I ended up not being at the computer in time to close it. So that one, if you're still in it, I'll update you what I do. I'm still holding mine. If officially it's still open on the record, and it's at a loss. So we do have some time, and that's the only thing we got working for us at the current moment. So we are at a lower low than any of these lows over here. So right now we need it to hold support and get going up, up here. So let's make some more progress toward getting us back to the target. All right, next up, let's see what we got. X. Yeah, we can look at U.S. Steel. I'll zoom this up just a hair, make it bigger. Let's see if it'll. We're it's gonna be a pain panning around here. All right, we came up to resistance right here. I know some people close it. They asked me if they should close it, and they decided to close it. Kind of gave us 2 days, a day and a half in that zone to close it if you're really wanting to get out and take profit. I know even Rob Booker sent me a message. He was closing it right there. Then we've kind of come all the way back, test support again. We're on our way back up. Hopefully, we can gather enough strength to break through the resistance this time. If it does come back up in this resistance area and start stalling out again, like similar to this right here, it would be a smart idea to close it, unless the S&P 500 decides to break out higher, which I think is that's kind of my thesis right now, is the S&P 500 will finally break out of this sideways that we've had for days and carry a lot of stuff with it up. That's all I really had to say about X right now. It's just, more sideways in this zone right here. We needed to break that resistance zone. You need to get above there. All right, next up. Dkng. Pull this one over. Again, we came down, started to look okay after the trade entered, and then we came down, poked out the bottom, back in the red, poked out the top slightly, back in the red, just kind of messing around in the support zone. It's a support zone, and we're sitting on support. That's not great. If we get any more action down below here, that's a big red flag right there in that zone. Getting, breaking any lower low than over here from last, was it week and a half ago, roughly. Anything lower than that, and that's just, this trade's not looking good. It's already, tried my patience quite a bit, and I'd like to see it just take off up here. We were looking okay, but then it just right back in the support. So I don't have anything great to say on that one either. It's just going sideways. When the trend stops, it's hard to get profitable trades when you're a trend trader. So that one right now, just giving it a little more time. It, not looking good. A lot of these aren't looking good because we're in a sideways trend in the S&P. The whole market's in a sideways trend. And it really affects everything, as you can kind of see. Now, Morgan Stanley here. Zoom it up just a little bit. Whoa, there we go. All right. We tested support down here. Came up, got our entry sideways. Came up, tested resistance. Rejected back down to support. Similar to what we've done on some of the other charts. This one was just ahead of the game a little bit because earnings were, before everything else here. And we've come up to resistance again. Came up through resistance, back down to the top of resistance. If we get more action down in this area, in particular, if we get below this right here, I think I'm gonna close this. Just take whatever the loss is gonna be, because we really need it to hold above this resistance here and get moving up here. All right, that's what I got to say about Morgan Stanley MS. Mike Sierra. Next up, we're gonna talk about some other charts too. MARA. So that's Mara. That's been the 5x trade. I'm in this one. I have a lot. I have upwards of 7,800 shares right now. I added some covered calls yesterday that are going out for. They're going to get called away tomorrow, I guess, or this weekend. What we got? I did tell everybody to buy shares back here. We started out okay, and then we kind of right down into support, deep support. I had drawn the support smaller before, but I've revised it to a bigger support box, and this 5 poked out, or A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like I talked about in the last class, these are kind of the way you count Elliott waves. That C that's just hanging off the bottom there, I think is going to be our. There were lots of confluence levels right around that level, and lots of levels that made a confluence in that level, right around that low there. It poked it and reversed right back out of it. So we have a possible count of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for a 1, a retrace into a 2. That could put us for a 3, 4, and then 5 up there. And that could be a new high, and it could be into our target area, the 61 to 66, area. And something that we've had going for us the first of every month so far in 2020 has made a new high, or made a high in Mara, and then the rest of the month has traded below that high. So, April was the same pattern. May be the same pattern. We may take off right up here, make some sort of high for the month, and then trade sideways for the next month. So keep that in mind. You may want to be looking for an exit sometime in the next week or so. It could be the 8th or the 10th, or somewhere in that zone there. We could be looking for possibly making a high equal to or greater than. That's where that red line comes in there. And then Mara, if it holds the same pattern it's held for 4 months, it may trade lower than that down in this area for the rest of the month before it makes a new high going into June. If it holds, it doesn't have to do that. Um, it's just the pattern that's been going so far this year. 4 months. I mean, doesn't make any kind of rule. There's no rule that says it has to do that. It's just a pattern that I was talking to some people last night and we noticed and got pointed out. So next one up. This one kind of crushed me a little bit. Lift. We were looking really good. We got in here, came up, kind of made a corrective retrace, didn't get back to the support, came back up again. It's looking pretty good, but we couldn't hold on above that resistance. We did make a higher high than we made over here. It was higher than back here. This was higher right here. But then we immediately got back down below, tried to break up through again, and then our labor secretary or whatever said, "Oh, I think Lyft should have to treat everybody as employees," and this happened. And now that's where we are. So we're in support. I don't care for this. Nobody cares for it. And we do have May 28th, 21 calls. And, I'm going to give it another day or so. If S&P can break out higher, then this may take off again. If it comes back up to resistance and and has trouble again, that's probably going to be the end of that one. I'd really love to see it get up to the 70, 71, even 74, 75 area, but it may not work. This sideways is just getting all my trades right here. Sideways, everything's sideways. That's the bane of a trend, going sideways. It's been the name of the game for all these so far. All right, Bitcoin. I did put out an alert that there was a possible entry right in this area right here. It decided to make a lower low. We're still well above the big support. It's way down in this area. We did kind of poke down to this consolidation area right there and tested it, and then we immediately started ramping back up to get back into this consolidation area. So again, it's kind of sideways from where I put that out. Now, I do expect this to have made the low right here in this area, and see if I can take a little bit off there. So we've made the low right there, and we've come up and we've made kind of a 1-2 kind of thing, and we've stayed above this pivot right here. I expect us to get up in here if we can break through this kind of confluence of the 618 levels, then and kind of stay up there. Then I can expect us to visit. Since we kind of tested this right here, we'll at least we may pause right there briefly, but I'm thinking we're going to get to the 70,000 level right up here, and it may correspond, like it may go fast, it may just blast up there, and that may be part of the catalyst for MARA making a high in May. It made its high. I think MARA made its high right around here, but then Bitcoin popped on up, and MARA was already pulling back. And same happened in March. I think MARA made its high right in here, and then Bitcoin proceeded to ramp on up. So if you see Mara spike and Bitcoin kind of trades sideways for a couple of days, that may be the kind of indication that MARA is going to pull back and Bitcoin is going to spike up before it makes it pull back. These are just, what we're looking for is repeatable patterns. This is kind of a pattern that's echoing through the market. It's not echo trades, but it is a repeating pattern. So next up, Ethereum. So this is my 1 hour chart on Ethereum. It made this correction back here in April. 1, 2, 3. I talk about that. And then it came up and retested, and then couldn't really hold the breakthrough on the 100% there. Came all the way back down, retested this support zone. Same kind of theme we keep seeing. We get up there and can't hold it, can't hold the resistance, and break back down to support, and then it kind of made this 1 2 1 2 3 level, and it got up to target 1. It's kind of consolidating right here. If it can get above and consolidate, then it'll probably pop on up to this 3,000, and then it may experience a bigger pullback all the way back down to here where it had this previous resistance zone in here around 2570 area. So that may happen, and that's just what I see on Ethereum. If you have any Ether, keep that in mind. Or we're already at this target 1 area in this zone right here at 2750. So the highest I expect in the near term, the next couple weeks, is 3,000. But that doesn't mean it won't get the super stretch goal that's off here. That's like 36, I think 36 or 3,800. I can't scroll this chart. If you're having trouble viewing it, it's kind of small. I know I didn't zoom it up. There we go. So the higher targets off of the chart here, it's a super stretch goal. This would be the T1, and this would be the stretch. Whoa, monitor's moving around. All right, so that'd be the stretch goal right there, 3,000. So if you're riding some Ethereum, maybe think about it, because once we get to here, if we don't just blast through, then if we slow down and kind of hang out or spike up and come back down, we're probably going to come back to this 2,500 area. That would be my expectation. All right, moving on. Almost done. Running out of charts here. Let's talk about some stuff since I didn't really put out many new trades or anything this week. I'm going to give y'all a little bit of something I'm watching. I talked about Roku a month ago or something like that. It did catch an entry in this area and ran up, and it did hit a small time frame target, pulled back into here. I didn't think it quite pulled back enough. I've kind of kept from getting into it, and it did this sideways thing just like a lot of other stuff from April 21st on. We kind of had this April 19th high and then the sideways in a lot of stocks. We kind of come into possibly another low here, another test of that 618 retrace, and if we can build up something here and get an entry, I may put out a trade on Roku looking for those higher prices I had talked about before. So that's just a preview of something I'm keeping an eye on. And then let's see. Another one I had talked about before, Chevron. Back early April during our first part of Echo Trades, we were in this area right in here. I said I expected Chevron to make a lower low. Well, here was the low. Roll forward here, April 21st, made the lower low, and then we did pop up off of that. I do expect it to kind of maybe come back down one more time to this. This is a monthly pivot. I know I just told you guys to put weekly pivots on the charts, but this is a monthly pivot. I do keep track of those also. Down around 96, I can kind of 96.50 area. If we do dip into that area, then I will be watching closely for an entry, not just on Chevron, but a lot of different oil stuff. Maybe XLE, USO, maybe I think UCO, XOM, VLO, all the oil stocks and the ETFs. I'm going to be keeping an eye on for where the best opportunity lies in those. All right. See what else we got here. What else did I want to show? Let's go into some gold miners. This is not gold itself. This is Barrick Gold. It's a mining company. What I have right here is a confluence zone in this 2070-2082 area, and it's coming down pretty good. This matches at least two pullbacks, and they have confluence right there. So if we pull back just a little bit more, we're at 21.15 was the low of the day today. So if we pull back another, was that 30, 40, 45 cents or so, and get a dip into here next week, then we'll be looking for an entry probably. And this is going to take us up into the probably into this zone in the 24, 25 area. I don't have a fib run on here because we haven't made the low yet. But that's what I'm looking for on gold, which is Barrick Mining. Barrick Mining. And then we have NEM, which is Newmont Mining, another gold miner. This one has already pushed into this support zone here. Has a if it pulls back to this prior low, there'll be 100%. There's also a kind of confluence of levels at that 59.30 area. If we get a dip on into there, which may correspond to the pullback in Barrick, GOLD, then we could be looking for an entry. This one already made an echo pattern. I totally missed it. I was looking for just a poke lower before I got into it. It hit both targets. It hit the stretch goal on the last run, and I had it on alert, and it just never triggered the pullback alert. And then next thing I know, it's hitting all my target alerts. So that was one I was watching and got away from me, and it looks like it's making a good pullback here. It's these two, gold and NEM, are not going sideways like everything else I've been watching. So this may be these two maybe have good opportunities coming up. The oil stocks are kind of sideways too, though. And then let's see. Last one. I didn't talk about this one yet. X. Yeah, this is my last one. I don't know why it's out of order. I should have talked about it with the other position trades. We got in back here, came up to the resistance area, pulled back to support, came up to resistance. Oh, I did talk about this, didn't I? Yeah, some people got out, and then we've come back, support again, and then we're in this no man's land. We need to break through support or resistance. Break through resistance. We tested support. We don't want to break through support. We held support. We want to get back up here, 3, 4, 5, and get the target at 29. All right. That's going to be my update for today, April 30 at 4:30, 4:40 after the market's closed. So that's it. I'll see you guys on our next live call, and that is coming up next Wednesday on May 5th. All right. Thank you all for subscribing to Echo Trades.